Greetings, cinephiles, movie buffs, and just general randoms. This week's going to be quite an interesting week. I've got 10 films to get through, so I'm going to probably do slightly quicker reviews than normal. Films from all over the world. 2 films from France, 2 films from Japan, a film from Singapore, a film from the United Kingdom, a couple of films from the States, 1 film from Taiwan, and of course, a film from South Korea. So it's kind of a catch up because I've been watching a lot of films recently, still off work, so that's my excuse. And it's been another incredible week. So yeah, let's get straight to it. Okay, so the first film I saw, Un Prophète, or A Prophet, from 2009, directed by Jacques Audiard. Amazing gangster movie that I'm pretty sure a lot of you already have seen, and I have no idea why I hadn't watched it before, but it was recommended by my good friend Carl from A Touch of Film, so I did what I was told and watched it, and I'm glad that I did. Visual flair, lots of beautiful slow-mo, great soundtrack, a visually stunning. The main performance is the Kingpin. He draws you into his world and you gain empathy and sympathy for him right from the beginning, following his journey through prison, onwards and upwards. And it's just really skillfully executed. Main theme of prejudice and the way that ethnic minorities are treated. It's well worn and well taught, well worn tale, but it's done in such a way that makes it fresh and engaging. It's one of those films I think you can definitely spend some time studying. If you haven't seen it, please go and check it out. I picked up the plain archive edition, which is very gorgeous, but I'm sure it's available on streaming at the moment. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Then I saw another movie by the same director, another French film called Rust and Bone from 2012, starring Marion Cotillard, if I pronounce that correctly, and Matthias Schoenaerts, pronounced perfectly. This is a real movie lover's movie. The story is very intriguing, very accessible, but the layers on top of the movie make it really compelling for a cinephile. You have got a beautiful use of sunlight in this film. It's set in south of France, in Nice or Cannes, I believe. Lots of shots of sunlight on the ocean, sunlight glares mixed with soft focus, beautiful editing. So one of those shadows also feature heavily, and again, lots of slow motion. So this filmmaker does like to use the technical aspects to tell a story. But when you've got 2 amazing performances on top of that, and a really good story, you can't go wrong. Again, I'm pretty sure that most people seeing this, watching this video, would have already seen this film because it's so famous, and I apologise for not watching it sooner, but it's, for guys, it's time to rewatch it. Yeah, an amazing performance by both the leads, and the themes explored are really interesting as well. We all know that men can be selfish and self-absorbed, but you also find that you do have empathy with the male lead as well. So it's a real juxtaposition there and a real mixture of emotions. So yeah, recommend Rust and Bone. Third film is from Japan, Shion Sono, Why Don't You Play in Hell, 2013. I don't know why it's called that, by the way, but I'm on a Shion Sono odyssey. I was expecting this to be another gore-filled, explicit and generally crazy movie from the master, but it wasn't. This was a very different film for me. This had a lot of charm. And although the film is littered with violence, the violence is very over the top and, silly comedic. But it's actually a real charming film about families and friendships and people chasing their dreams. So not what I expected, and more the better for it. It was completely mad, of course. Great fun. The soundtrack is quirky and crazy. But this guy's approach to the cinematic art form is unheralded. It's just an absolute genius. The way that he can use different themes, weave themes into kind of extreme cinema, I guess you would call it. But there are some, so much to enjoy with this film. It's just a, you know, it's a shame about the title. It's not gonna appeal to most everyone who watches this video. But to me, Sion Sono is a genius, and I'm looking forward to watching the rest of his films. Okay, complete change of tack for my next film. We're off to Singapore now. Anthony Chen's Wet Season. I believe it is a Taiwanese edition. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I was a big fan of Ilo Ilo. This is a film that he made in 2019. He's not made many films at all. And same experience. Anthony Chen is a director that, although this is melodrama and it's kind of slow, it's just got a certain tone, and the cinematography, and it's just very, very high quality cinema. And the central performance by Yiyo Yan Yan, who's also in Ilo Ilo, is fantastic. She plays a school teacher who's desperate for a child. Husband has given up on this and also given up on her, so she seeks love elsewhere. It's engrossing, it's harrowing, it's exhilarating, and I love this film very much. Yeah, it's just wonderful stuff. So if you can pick up Wet Season, still available probably on Yes Asia, something like that, I would thoroughly recommend that you do so urgently. Okay, Japan. I don't know where to start with this film because it's a 5-star movie. Recommended by my good friend Hus, Touch of Film. He's on about it months ago. This is Miss Zombie from 2013, directed by Cebu. This is not your average zombie film. This is a art house zombie movie with beautiful, stark, monochrome photography, gorgeous framing, beautiful lighting, and with some stark social commentary. It's about a family who employ a zombie to be their servant, which doesn't sound very interesting, but when you put it into the zombie genre, it's fascinating. The movie moves at a glacial pace, kind of like the shuffling footsteps of the zombie herself. But what is amazing about this film is the way it looks. And it is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous photography, gorgeous shots. It's just kind of a beautiful, haunting movie that I fell in love with literally from the get-go. I was very surprised. I was expecting it to be kind of a bit of action, and I went in reasonably blind, other than that Hus on your channel has been raving about it. I did not expect. I mean, it was just incredible, and the ending is just spellbinding. Again, this one's one to urgently pick up. It's the USA edition, I believe, available on Wow HD or Deep Discount. Just pick it up, guys. Do as you're told. Listen to the man, Hus. He does know what he's talking about. I saw a British film with one of my favourite actors at the moment, Riz Ahmed. I saw him in The Sound of Metal a few weeks ago. That was pretty good, but again, he was the main draw for me. He was the main event. Same with this movie, Mowgli, which I watched on BFI channel, streaming free at the moment, from 2020. And it is a movie that only really works because of his charismatic and super cool performance. It is a film, similar theme, a young man who's struck down by illness, a well-worn tale again, but his performance is incredible. There is an interesting spin when it talks about identity. It's a Pakistani young man who's struggling with identity, with Britishness and Pakistani-ness. But, you know, the film itself is disappointing, I think, but the performance by Riz Ahmed elevates it somewhat and makes it into a kind of a solid 3-star film. So I would recommend that you watch it for sure, if you can get it on BFI. Okay, another country now. We're in South Korea, and we're looking at Hong Sang-soo, and we're looking at Hotel by the River, an American release, I believe. And I picked this one up because it was after watching Grass. This was made in 2018. Grass is one of the only films that I really love from Hong Sang-soo. I've seen about 3 or 4. It's in black and white, and I love another black and white movie. I love black and white movies. This is a charming tale. It is a lot of it of the my love for this film is about, again, the photography, the way that snow is used in a black and white setting on a lake or river is fantastic. And I think that it's also a film about father-son relationships, which I can relate to. And it has got lots of the normal elements of a Hang Sang-soo movie, where there's lots of talking and drinking. There's lots of napping. It's very slow. It's a very quiet film. It's a sort of film you watch in the afternoon and you need to be in the mood. But I did like it, and some of the arguments again are amazing. He seems to have a real talented director for really interesting arguments and disagreements. But really, I think this film to me was mainly about the look and feel of it, and it is a film that you can enjoy. Again, the essay written by I don't know her name, Christian Yeon-soo, South Korean film critic. She is a little essay is just, well, made me cry. Don't tell anybody. Made me cry. Fantastic essay inside the Blu-ray. So again, if you can pick this up, it's released by Cinema Guild, and yeah, if you're a Hong Sang-soo fan, I think you'll love it. Okay, so off to Japan now. I'm continuing my Sion Sono filmography in Odyssey. This is 2013's Why Don't You Play in Hell. This is a German digibook version, one of the 3 different versions you can get from Amazon Germany, I believe. It's available. And it's my 3rd Sono film. My first one was Tag, incredible movie. And then Coldfish, I watched, also amazing. And this is the 3rd one, equally as great. I mean, this guy is a genius. He's an auteur. He's a wildly original filmmaking style, and this film's no different. Over the top, crazy, madcap violence, and great quirky score. What's different a little bit, well, I mean, I've not seen many Sono films on my 3rd, but this is very charming and as well, and it deals with family relationships and young men trying to chase their dream, but in a kind of, again, it's just a very difficult to. He's got his own genre, I believe, and he's got his own kind of filmmaking style, which can only be Sion Sono. More power to him. I'm looking forward to watching many more of his films. But this, I am told, is one of his best movies. So it was good to kind of get this one ticked off. So yeah, if you can pick it up, I would thoroughly recommend it. Okay, we're off to Taiwan now. Goodbye Dragon Inn. Second run's release by a film by Simon Lang. Again, a recommendation from Hus at A Touch of Film, his favourite release of last year, I believe. Yeah, this is not so much of a movie, more of an experience, if I can put it like that. It's a film set in a film theatre, an old film theatre in a beautiful old cinema in Taiwan, showing the film Dragon Inn, one of the seminal Wuxia movies, I believe. And it is all about the experience of a cinema goer. It's about the audience in the cinema and the people who work there. And what it did for me was evoke memories and nostalgia about cinema, and on an emotional level, wonderful, really kind of identified with that. Also, it's a film that has probably some of the most beautiful shots and photography you're ever going to see in a film. And I think I've never seen so much non-action in a film in my life. There's so many long shots and takes. It's just a film, as I said before, to experience and to fall in love with. Probably watch it many times. And also great to see a director like this subverting cinema and using cinema in a very different way, almost like an art installation, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely one to pick up. Okay, a couple of USA movies to finish off with. The first one is on Netflix from 2018, and it's called Hold the Dark. 32% audience approval on Rotten Tomatoes. What is going on there? This film has got everything. Great performances, Great atmospheric score, befitting the thriller genre that it is. Beautiful photography, great action set pieces, great story. I mean, I guess the movie lost a few points because it's got a convoluted kind of like whole ridden plot. But who cares? It was such great fun. And it's got one of the best shootout sequences I've seen since Destroyer. And it's engrossed me for the whole 2 hours. I absolutely loved it. Again, a recommendation by another YouTuber, Carl from Into the Blue. I know he loves it. Not many people do. I have no idea why, but go and give it a try. Okay, last film. Probably the most difficult film to talk about and review. Pieces of a Woman on Netflix from 2020. Opens with a 30-minute giving birth, one take sequence to introduce you to the story. Then the credits roll. But this is a film about how a woman deals with the grief losing a baby. So we're into difficult territory here. Of course, it is impossible to put yourself in her position, but I think the director and the lead actress do their very best to do just that. And I think Vanessa Kirby completely owns this movie and blew me away with her central performance. Shia LaBeouf, I love, so he was great support. And Ellen Burstyn, also astounding in this film. A great monologue from her towards the end of the movie. And also a very technically interesting film as well, with lovely photography and a excellent long take in the middle, which ramps up tension to number 11. It is a film that is grueling, and it is difficult to watch, but I think it's something that you all should try and check out. It does veer into sentimentality via the soundtrack and the score a little bit towards the end. That's my only qualm, but all in all, this is a pretty fantastic film. So there we are, a lot of films I managed to cram into this video, and hopefully I'll watch less films this coming week or two. But what you'll notice in here is that all the films I'm watching are amazing. So that's fantastic. And thanks again to the people who have been recommending these movies. I'll put all their links down below. But yeah, until next time, take care, guys. Stay safe and keep watching movies.